Uh,
Hi guys, it's me, Kathy, Mrs. Handy are you, and Mr. Handy. He's helping me get started so I don't screw up and look like a moron. Hope everybody's doing really well. What is it? Is it June 1st? I don't even know. It's June 1st. Happy June 1st. And I used to read Trixie Belden books, and if they were like Nancy Drew. And if you didn't say, well, the point was the first of the month, you were supposed to say rabbit, rabbit, and then it meant it was a good month coming up. And I didn't realize that they were giving us comms back then, follow the white rabbit. And I don't know if you know, but I've mentioned before, Jackie Kennedy matches White Rabbit. So we were supposed to be following Jackie Kennedy. And anyway, so I'm going to decode what happened in Texas. Now, it's been a few days, but I'm sure people are still talking about it. I've been avoiding all the news pretty much, except when something jumps out at me and I want to decode it. Okay, so this is an article about what happened in, I think you pronounce it Uvalde, Texas. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, okay? And okay, so what I usually do when I see a written article online, and this one happened to be from the Washington Examiner, and I always check who wrote the article and at what time did it get posted. And that'll give you a good insight as to whether it's real or not. Okay, so it was by Daniel Chaitin. I would think it's pronounced Chaitin or Chaitin. So the article is updated on 5/25/22. So let's see. I'm going to give you, there's a few quotes throughout this. Sorry about the phone. Gosh, I'm going to throw it in the trash. Parents begged police for upward 40 minutes to stop Texas school, ER. And anyway, it was posted on 5/26/2022 at 3:08 p.m. And then take the date at 5 + 2 + 6 + 2 + 2 = 17. And then, yeah, I think that's enough. I won't go into all my, I went on and on with that, but that's enough. Let's see. So the author of the article, his first name's Daniel, and that's 45. That's a good number, right? 45 equals gods, plural, and effect, and BOOM. Okay, if you're older like me, you'll get this. I don't know about real young people. SNL, and that's what everybody would call Saturday Night Live. We wouldn't, if we talked about a skit that was on Saturday Night Live the next week among ourselves, we wouldn't say that. We'd say SNL. So SNL is 45, which means like a TV show, a skit. That's what they did, a lot of skits. Then we have another 45, games, big red, redhead, and managed. So redhead, as you know, I'm sure is Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. because he was a redhead and he's been reincarnated into our junior. That's how I put it, because they're both juniors. So why bother to say JFK Jr. when you know he was Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. So he's like two juniors. Another thing that matches 45 for Daniel is NCIS, which was a TV series about investigations in the military. I'm fake. So Daniel equals I'm fake. It equals come on, just like that. Come on. It equals all facade. And read 17th letter, that letter, read that. And then ha, like ha, 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 5 times. Now, Juan does that when he gives his interviews, and he counts how many times he says ha to a situation, and it all means something like this. Air Q. Remember I talked about Hercule Poirot, and he always said, oh, people would say his name wrong, and he'd say, no, you pronounce it Hercule, which is Hercule, you know? And John F. Kennedy made an Hercule in a speech. It was a speech with Huntley and Brinkley online, and it was during the part that wasn't supposed to be recorded, but was recorded, so that we could see the whole thing. And he made an Hercule near the end of that speech, if you want to see it. Okay, and of course, President Trump made it a lot. He made Hercules. Let's see. So his last name, the guy who wrote this article, and he was describing what happened in Uvalde, his last name is Chaitin, Chaitin, which is 64. And that equals John Q. So he's signing this. That's what's happening at that moment. He's signing this. Like, yeah, it's us, it's me. Let's see what else matches 64 is Tenet, Tenet. And that he's a big time movie producer, lots of special effects. We have Spock is 64, and that's from the Star Trek TV series. We have movie. I mean, we could just stop right there. Movie is 64. It matches his last name, Chaitin. And then we have arrange and scene. He didn't is 64. All clear is 64. Booms and Gotham, which was a pretend city, which was represented New York in the Batman movies and comic strips. Let's see what else. Stop saying Catherine. JFK SR is 64. So it's like he's signing it as well. So it's not just Junior or whatever you want to call him. It's Senior. President Kennedy is signing it. And Junior really is his brother, because he came back from being Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. and he became JFK Jr. So he wasn't really President JFK's son. If you look at it this way, he's his brother, and they were twins way back in the day. So I have a video on that, so go ahead and look at it if it's confusing. Let's see. You put his name together, Daniel Chaitin, and it's 109, which is a big number in our Gematria. And in case you're new, we get a few new people every time. What we're doing is Bible coding or decoding, and it's A equals 1 through Z equals 26. And I tend to use gematrix.org. And Tom Bushnell on his site, Psych Club, has a Gematria product at the end of each video. And that helps you learn the numbers through like your friends and family numbers, which helps you understand more. And when it's personal, I think it helps you relate to the numbers a little bit easier. And it's only $17, of course. Tom is an awesome person. I hope you support him. And let's see, what else is 109, Daniel Chaitin? It equals 17. because that's 109 is a big number. It equals Tom's video channel, Psych Club. Okay, here's the other one. All these in a row. Accidental, everyone, feeling great. In other words, the kids. They're okay. The kids are okay. Witness. We have Diana Spencer that is 109. Now, I don't know, was she there? Is she signing it? Just like the other guys, like junior and senior? So it could be that she's like one of the reporters on the side or with a mask on, you know, a full Hollywood mask. I haven't looked at that. She's been coming up a lot more. And Do You See is 109. Hang in there, 109. And Burberry is the same number. And remember Melania's coat a while ago, all her clothing was Coms and she wore a Burberry coat. And that matches all this, you know, 17, feeling great, all that. Trickery is 109. All-Star Game, like it's a game. Let's see, Child's Play. I get the word play out of that. You know, they're acting out a play in this drama in Uvalde, Texas. And then we have Batman Robin, because they're behind all this, you know, Junior and Donald Trump, I guess you call him Senior. Yeah, it's like they've signed it. So that's it for, no, it's not that. Oh, sorry, that's not it. Then still from the Washington Examiner article, it said a Border Patrol team. And a lot of these phrases in the article were highlighted in blue, like Tiffany blue, like Gematrix.org blue. So anything highlighted in blue, I worked on. That a Border Patrol team is 184. It says, just stay alive. Live in the moment. You will not die. All these things are 184. So those people, teachers, students, did not pass on. Let's see. Cited by the, and I didn't write everything out because what I was writing was items in blue. So cited by the was the next phrase written in blue, and it equals 101. It equals Lil, L-I-L, Wayne, and Junior used to call as Wayne Willott before he changed his name to just W, and then he became, well, yeah, he still stayed as W, and he would call in for years and years as W. 101 equals life is good. So I thought that was interesting. So the blue things that are highlighted mean that it's basically Lil Wayne is John signing this event again, and life is good because they're not gone. And then another person who was interviewed, who knows, it's probably an actor in the movie. Let's just rush in because cops aren't doing anything like they're supposed to do. So he's quoting, or he's quoted, and it was by Javier Cazares, and he lost supposedly his 4th grade daughter, Jacqueline, Jacklyn. Now, granted, it's another spelling, but who cares? It doesn't matter if it's a different spelling. They're referring to Jackie Kennedy. So lost his daughter, Jacqueline, in the attack. More could have been done. They were unprepared. Now, I didn't decode everything. Like I could have decoded those 2 phrases. And in blue again, according to the, and then it was New York Times. If somebody wants to do that, it was according to the, let's just rush in is 215. and it equals ritualistic killing, horrible child SAC, RIF, ICES. I think you know what I'm talking about. So they're talking about this as what it used to be. This is a white hat op. So what used to happen in the old days was there were some real things that happened like this. And that's what they were. They were ritualistic and they, sorry, itchy face. People didn't make it. And it also matches at 215, something that President Trump says, which always makes me think like, yeah, we're on the right trail if President Trump said something that equals what we're working on. President Trump said, Joe, you know, I won. And that was supposedly the only letter he left at the desk for the Biden or Bidens. And that was the quote that I've heard. So that's pretty funny. And Joe, you know, I won, because it's really Junior and it's really other people, not just Junior, acting as the Biden. Yeah, I think it's Joe Kennedy, who was the, what was it, Attorney General under his brother, JFK. And I think it's probably at least a couple of other people. Yeah, like what's his name that played Sherlock Holmes in the beginning? Can't think of what his name is. And Gene Wilder is another one. I think Gene Wilder might be the one that fell up the stairs on Air Force One. Okay, then we go back to the quoting. Let's just rush in. It's 215. And oh, I did that one, sorry. And 215 equals the number 17. And I had planned this long ago. I believe it, this long time ago. And it equals Alan Harrow Parrott, which is one of the personas of Junior. And he was the CIA whistleblower about the drug trade in the Middle East. And he was a falconer. Let's see. The first phrase in the Washington Examiner article, this is all originally from George News, and he linked to it. Police stood by, that's 160. Did I do that one? I don't know. Yeah, 160 equals messages revealed. Grand Theft Auto, that's a movie. And pay attention. Like, look at the details. Listen to who's talking. What are they saying? Are they consistent in their arguments? Okay, so then I looked up Uvalde, Texas. And so I looked at Uvalde, Texas, tx.gov. And this is so funny. I mean, you talk about planning it a long time ago. They sure did. They got all these numbers the way they wanted them. As of 2020, the population was 15,217, like 217s, like 15, like comms. 80 miles west of San Antonio. That's an 8 for infinity or God. And 54 miles east of the US-Mexico border. And reverse 54 to 45 for POTUS 45. The mayor of Uvalde is Don McLaughlin, Don, like Donald Trump, Donald Jr. City manager is Vincent de Piazza. So we have a Vincent for Vincent Fusca. And remember, you probably don't know, but I wore this dress when I met my Vincent Fusca, who was John Denver, as far as I know. So it's probably the first time, oh gee, this is probably the first time I've worn it, really, since I saw him. It's been a special outfit to wear. Let's see. The city manager. Okay, yeah, I did city manager. It's Vincent. Zip codes of this town or city is 7. Okay, that's God's perfect number. 88 is Trump. 88 is also false flappy things on a flagpole. And the city was founded by a 22-year-old. And his name was Reddingwood Black. I didn't decode that, sorry, but 22. He came to Texas in 1853. And we've got an 18 for R and 53. Reverse it to 35 for POTUS 35, JFK. And the land was located in Bexar County, and that's BC, Bexar County. So he was around before BC. A current article by CBS. What we know about the victims is the title. What we know about the victims of the Uvalde school thing. And it was by Zoe CHRISTEN, CHRISTEN Jones. And it was updated when I saw it on 5/27/22. It was at 1:20 p.m. Like I said, I always start with the authors to see if what's following is real or not. So the author, and Christian is TEN on the end. It's not IAN. So Zoe is 46. Zoe 46 is JUAN. 46 is WW, like Wayne Willett. Now I've heard from somebody else that's a truther that he doesn't want to be called like Wayne Willett, but that's out there. So I don't know how you're going to avoid it when it matches different things. It equals codes. So 46 equals codes. And when you spell out, I have a note on this, when you spell out 46, instead of using the number, it's 136. And that equals Mother Mary and Bride of Christ. So I think we're looking at the Bible wrong. We're not all the bride of Christ. She's the bride of Christ. And we'll all be fine. I'm just saying that we're not like all the bride of Christ. And image of the beast is 46. And joy to heal all, because she's ready to heal all. And if I think there's a twin, so there is a joy to heal all. It's going to be beautiful. And no worries. So we've got, Mother Mary, image of the beast, but then we have no worries. That all equals the words 46, which is 136. So that's very encouraging. I hope that does encourage you. Let's see. So I did Zoe. Christian with an EN is 96. It equals GameStop, which was something that was going on in January and February in the market. Or you can look at it as stop game. And it's all fake equals 96. And don't panic. And another 96, had to do it. It's just something they have to do. And we just have to deal with it and be okay with it. Now we have Jones, because it was Zoe CHRISTEN Jones. Jones is 63. What happened in 1963? It equals DEJA VU. Record, you can look at it as record, but record, because they likely recorded what happened on the day of that event in Uvalde to show what really happened. Like there were probably directors and everything and lighting, who knows. So Zoe CHRISTEN Jones is 205, and that equals the conspiracy facts seek and you shall find. Like if you look at a lot of videos about this, I'm sure you're going to see the inconsistencies and the coded phrasing in the videos. I haven't done that. Well, maybe I did one. Seek and you shall find. Gematria is the proof. Do you hear what I hear? That could be in a video about this. Like if you look up video clips that are in news articles, you'll probably hear things that are like, oh, that doesn't make sense. So like I said, I didn't want to get into all of it because I already figured out just from the authors that it wasn't real. I mean, when I first heard about it, I had a feeling, but I wanted to prove it. Okay, we're back at the, is it the Washington Examiner one? Yeah, we're still on that. So they had some things underlined in the article as well. So the nation's eyes are on the Texas town of Uvalde following an elementary school that has left 21 people and 17 more hurt, injured. The nation's eyes is 179. I mean, that was the first phrase in the article, so it makes sense. It's like the first phrase of different parts of the Bible that it's something important to work on. The nation's eyes is 179 again, and that's one of Junior's personas, Wayne Willott, W-I-L-L-O-T-T. And in that case, you've got doubles of a lot of letters, you know, twins. Because I think, you know, he's like a twin with JFK, who was supposed to be his dad, but he's twin brothers. Okay, another one we have that's 179 is Diana of the Ephesians. That's not right, it's 179. And then I did Rob, 2 B's, elementary school, that's 227. That equals something great, close to the finish line. Let's hope so. Stop playing around. The first and only take. Like this is a movie or a play or something. We're only going to do this one time, people. The first and only take. Another quote in this article was, shooting his grandmother is 266. It says, do you believe in coincidences? 266. DJ Trump, true coded messages. You shall wait no longer. So I'm really hoping that that's true. And then another line short in a short time was crashing a car is 102. Art of War is 102. DJ Trump, Nashville, which is an FF, you know, with the white van and all the warnings and everything. That was an FF from the White Hats. And they warned for 15 minutes on the loudspeaker to get out of the way, and they all did. You know, a normal event wouldn't have warned people like that. Isaac Cappy is another one. Oh, here comes Rosie. And he's not dead. I'm sure of it, 100%. I'm sure he's Junior. We have Hindenburg, which was, I'm sure also was an FF. Maybe people did pass on in that one, but they set it up is what I'm saying. Good news. So crashing a car and then good news is 102. Doesn't match. I mean, it does match 102. Let's see, I said Hindenburg. Wuhan, China, that was an FF. Believe it or not, it was. And all these things were revved up by the news. And illnesses and statistics were all manipulated with. And there are people who say they know somebody who DIED, and I know there are people I know that say that they died from that DIED from that but a lot of it was almost like expectations of DYING. And if your mental state is that you've got it and you're going to go, and that's what you're agreeing to, because you obviously are, if you're agreeing to it, to God, if that this is it, I'm going to go, that means what I think it means is, okay, your number's up, you're off the earth plane. If you think you're going to go and you're agreeing, well, toodaloo. Let's see. Walked into the building, 225. And I think we're still at underlined bits of the article. Walked into the building, 225. And that equals, don't worry, be happy. So you can't get any more clear than that. And then also underline, children, teachers, whoever was in his way. That was in quotes. That's another thing to look at. That's 399. And you would not believe me if I told you is 399. So it's interesting, don't you think? And then I just worked out children, teachers, those two words. And it equals 152. And let the games begin. And time will tell, because all these truths will be revealed. Don't worry is 152. So you've got children and teachers. It's equals don't worry. And also I wrote down here, remember that Juan said several times that we're in a war. And what we're really in a war about is a war for people's minds. That's the kind of war we're in. It's going to look like World War III is happening, what with Ukraine and all these other events that will happen, big time events like nuclear and all that, that it will look like we're in a giant WW3. It's not going to be real. I bet my life on it. So I don't know how it's going to be with, sorry about the noise, you know, the people in the family who don't believe all this, and then you're the calm one, and they may be freaking out going, oh, mom, dad, grandma, uncle, whatever you are to someone else. You got to get to the fallout shelter. You got to do this, you got to do that. And I've also decoded that there's no time to get to the fallout shelter. And that's when people will be praying to God to protect them. And I think that's when there's a giant harvest of souls, in a good way, to go towards God. And he's the God over everybody. He's the God of every religion. It's not just Christianity. He's the God, period. He's just the God. So, and he has lots of others that help him and to do his work. Let's see. Let's see. The end of the article. Here was a look at the victims and their stories. This is right from the article. Now, I only did a couple because it was getting redundant. So why keep on going when you know kind of the way it's coming out. So we had Mate, M-A-I-T-E, Rodriguez, and they'd have a picture of the child doing joyful things, you know, happy, joyful, running around. So Mate, or Mate Rodriguez. So Mate is 48, which equals hoax, and live. Rodriguez equals 133, simulation, info clear as day, false reality. So then I put the names together, her first and last. Mate Rodriguez is 171, See who I really am. Like, I'm sure these are, stage names. That's not her real name. See who I really am. And then I'm still on live. Like, I'm still on. And the mother was Anna, A-N-A Rodriguez. And Anna is 16. And that equals Alpha Omega and CBK, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. Now, they can talk about CBK for quite a while before this all comes out. But in another previous video, I told you how Melania is acting for as much as I know, for the moment, there's no real Melania. Maybe years ago, that young woman in the photos was a real Melania, but the person who's Melania right now is acting, and she's kind of like CBK, who never existed, and also Diana. So when it gets right down to it, she's Diana, Princess Diana. And that, as far as I know, like I keep saying that, I don't know for sure, but that John has been married to Diana for many years. So, I mean, to say there's no CBK means just like the CIA used to produce profiles like on Wikipedia or in the news or whatever, they produce things the way they wanted it to be. But it would help the dark side. Now it's being produced and written to help the good guys. So her, working in Calvin Klein and how he met her at Calvin Klein, and she was shy and all that stuff. So she didn't want to talk very much. And that was probably the reason she wasn't interviewed very much, because they'd always say she's shy. And she had a British accent, but to be honest with you, they can change their accents. So I don't think it was just that. So there was another girl, Eliana. Oh, I think I missed it. What was her last name? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I missed a couple because I got distracted. Sorry. McKenna Elrod. McKenna's 59. These are all people who supposedly are gone from the Uvalde incident. McKenna's 59 equals Joker, liars, the game. Elrod equals 54, which equals woke, like I'm awake. Chess, making a chess move. Play, as in we're in a play. And then McKenna Elrod together is 113. And that equals the answer. It equals white hats. So here we go. The white hats are signing it too. Then we have Alejandra Cruz Torres. So it says she's 10, but she's in the photo, she looks older. So I don't know what all that's about. Alejandra is 51, and that equals find me, be hidden. You know how everybody says things like that now with be in front of it, like I be hidden or I be late. That's kind of silly, but that's what how people phrase things now. So I be hidden makes kind of be hidden, makes sense. And Eliana Cruz Torres, it's 214. I only did Eliana at 51, sorry. So when you add her, all three of her names up, it's 214. There's a hidden pattern, and stop the insanity, like the school FFs, like let's stop this. So I think I'm going to end that there. I've got a couple more things to do, but I will come back on. And I love you guys. Let's see if I can shut this Zoom off, because this is new to me, doing the Zoom. I'll see. La, la, la. And take care of each other. And please give me a shout out if you need any help, or if you're confused about something. I'd be glad to help you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.